This is your step-by-step guide to landing your first high-paying client as an editor. I'm telling you, you could be earning anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month from a single client just editing videos. I know this because I've done this myself. I landed high-paying clients. I even scaled my agency to $30,000 a month. I've also worked with hundreds of other editors, hired editors, and then placed them in various different businesses. And through all that time and all the knowledge I gained, I boiled it down to 3 simple things that you need as an editor to land a high-paying client, to the point where you could be working for top brands or even your favorite creators that you watch right now. And these are the 3 things that I'm looking for when I hire an editor and place them inside a business. Now, I am hosting a workshop going fully in depth on the 3 secrets that you need to know to land a $2,000 to $5,000 a month client. The link is in the description and seats will be first come, first serve. It's happening this weekend on Sunday. Click the link to sign up and find out more details. Now, getting back to it, as an editor, there are these 3 things that you need to be focusing on. And this brings us to chapter 1, getting good. I get this question asked all the time. Is editing saturated? Are there too many editors looking for work? And the simple answer is no. Nowhere even close to being saturated. There are so many people looking for high quality editors, or what I like to call them, leverage editors. That's because out of like 1,000 editors, there's probably only really 2 to 3 that are actually good. And you may be surprised to hear that being good doesn't mean doing the Ali Abdaal style, Iman Ghazi style, Vox style, Danco style, 3D scenes, you name it. While these things certainly help you earn more money, the main problem is that basic level editors are missing 3 key steps that would unlock their ability to actually being good. Step 1 is mastering the basics. Number 2 is using the optimal workflow to increase your speed. And then number 3 is visuals. So number 1, mastering the basics. So for mastering the basics, let's hop into Premiere Pro and I'll show you my exact workflow. The first thing I'm focusing on is cutting out all the bad takes and all the silences, keeping all my cuts precise, cutting exactly where I start speaking and where I finish speaking. The problem is that basic level editors will make cuts here, or they'll even make cuts here. And the reason why that's bad is because when you're mastering cut downs, it's so important because this is the very first point within your video that you can establish the flow. Pacing is the most important thing, and if you can't master it through the cut downs, then you're not going to be getting high paying clients. Another thing that I really like to do is keep things fast paced, adding some J cuts. To do this, all you have to do is overlap the audio and drag the video back. Then from here on, after the cut downs, what differentiates a basic editor from a leverage editor is that the next process that I would go into is audio correction. Every time you have somebody speaking on screen, the audio itself needs to be anywhere between -12 dB to -6 dB. And that's essentially the basics. It seems pretty easy, right? Well, actually, most editors screw this up, causing a ton of pain and headaches for the clients that you're actually servicing. You must set the foundation as preparations for visuals to make your life way easier as an editor, as well as make the client's life 10 times easier. And this brings us to step number 2, optimal workflow. 99% of the editors out there do not actually have a optimal workflow. Without an optimal workflow, you're hindering your ability to edit fast and just edit better. A part of your value as an editor is measured in speed and the quality of your edit. If you can increase both, you can charge more. And here's a secret to your workflow that I only really share inside our Leverage Editor course and community, and that's using all the programs for what they are designed for. We can see that Adobe Photoshop is amazing for creating visuals. That's literally what it's meant for. We can see that Premiere Pro is the best program for handling cut downs, some basic animation, and sound effects. And then going over to After Effects, that is best for advanced level animation. Using all the programs for their intended use is the best way to increase your speed and your quality. Why would I try doing entire cut downs in After Effects when Premiere Pro's timeline is set up for bigger projects? Why would I try making entire 3D scenes and stylizing it in After Effects when Photoshop is literally dedicated to building out visuals? So use the right program at the right time. And then this brings us into step number 3, visuals. Now, as I was saying before, knowing the viral animation styles like Iman Ghazi, Ali Abdaal, Danco, Vox 3D scenes. This will help you get paid more as an editor, and we teach that inside our Leverage Editor course. However, even without mastering these styles, the most important thing when it comes to implementing visuals is knowing, number 1, where to place visuals, 2, what to visualize, and 3, how to visualize. This will all also play into your workflow and the speed and quality you can achieve as an editor. So diving into my workflow as an editor, a majority of my visuals are placed at the intro. It's because the intro is the only chance you have to make point to create a great impression and keep the viewer engaged, because the intro is your chance to hook your viewer after they're watching 30 plus videos and finally coming onto yours, and it creates your first impression while getting them interested in the rest of your video. And then throughout your video, your visuals should be getting less and less. So most of your time should be spent on visualizing the intro, because as the viewer begins to watch, after a certain amount of time of watching the video, they're already invested into it. Doesn't matter how many more animations that you have. So when the video keeps on going on, spread your animations out to save you time. And then the same goes for knowing what to visualize. A basic editor will visualize the wrong thing, often wasting time in the wrong areas that don't help tell the creator's point or the story that they're trying to tell. In my workflow, I'm always looking for the points that stand out. Is there an area that doesn't make any sense? If so, it most likely needs a visual for the viewer to understand. Is there an area that needs emphasis? Typically when the speaker is emphasizing their words, that's a good indication for a visual. And then that brings us to how to actually visualize. It's so important to turn words into visuals that make sense. You need to visually show concepts and not just show the direct thing that the speaker is talking about. And here's another really great tip that will help out your workflow as an editor. Typically in the beginning of your video, that is where you want to create concept visuals and image-based visuals, as those kind of visuals grab the most attention. And then once again, as the video goes on and your animations become more dispersed, this is where you can use text title animations. This will save you time when you're editing, because text title animations are quicker and also allow you to place the highest impact visuals in the beginning so you can grab that attention. All right, now you know how to actually get good as an editor. It's now on to chapter 2, value stack. Editing isn't just enough. You need to be able to stack value on top of yourself that you can provide to your client. There's a lot of editors who can do a great job with the basics, but to stand out from the thousands of other editors, you need to acquire more skills. Plus, the more value you can provide to a client, the more they're going to be paying you. There are 3 skills that you need to stack on top of yourself as an editor in order to charge more. So what are those 3 skills? Number 1, thumbnail design. Number 2, graphic design. And then 3, YouTube viral mastery. If you're an editor who can stack on the capability of creating thumbnails, you now just solved a really big problem for your client. And you need to be good at this, because the thumbnail is one of the most important parts of a video. Without a properly designed thumbnail, the video that you just spent time editing will never get clicks, resulting in barely any views for your client. So if you understand how to properly optimize a thumbnail for clicks, then you can easily charge more because you're getting better results. You also want to stack on the skill of a graphic designer. This will come natural as you begin to create more visuals for your edit. However, having the ability to actually become an amazing graphic design artist in different areas like Instagram stories, visuals for PDFs, Twitter visuals, website design. These are all things that a typical client that you would be editing for would also need. Being that one person that can solve more of their problems will result once again in you getting paid more. And then the third thing is that YouTube viral mastery. At the end of the day, the client that you're making a video for wants a return on investment from making their video. They're expecting that when they post content, it would eventually result in money back. So one of the valuable skills that you need to understand is virality. This plays into everything that you do. You need to understand as an editor what you can do on your part to make things go viral. Mastering retention editing, knowing where to place visuals, knowing how to create that amazing thumbnail, knowing what to cut out, what to leave in, what to rearrange, all to make the video perform better. Once again, understanding YouTube and their algorithm and how to go viral will help your clients' videos perform better, look better, and ultimately get them more money at the end of it. This is probably one of the number 1 skills that you need to master as an editor. All right, so now that you know you need to stack on skills so that you can raise your perceived value as an editor, it's time to move on to chapter 3, finding client. I know what you guys are thinking. There's a missing link within the chain. You can master the basics, you can stack value, but still, how do you find and actually land a high-paying client? How do you even get their attention so that you can sell them for $2,000 a month? Well, most of the secrets for this will be revealed in our workshop, but here's some exclusive information. First, know that there's 2 ways to obtain clients. First is outbound, and the second is inbound. The difference is that outbound is when you actually contact a client, and inbound is when the client contacts you. Both ways work, and they can be extremely effective if done right. I've landed a $10,000 a month client by going outbound, and I've also landed a $8,000 client from inbound. Now, if you're still trying to land your first high-paying client as an editor, I highly recommend starting with outbound, as finding and contacting someone will be the quickest way for you to land a client. If you start creating content for your social media, expect that to be a 3-month process, as grow an account large enough for someone to eventually reach out to you takes time. So here's my number one tip for landing a high paying client when going outbound. Only look for clients who can afford your price. Here's the difference. Client A makes $5,000 a month within their business. Client B makes $50,000 a month in their business. If you wanted to charge $2,000 a month as an editor, how could you possibly think client A would be able to afford that price? Client A has rent to pay, food expenses, and business expenses. By the time that client A is done paying all those expenses, there is no money left over to pay you as an editor. Even if you have the highest quality edits, you're mastering the basics, you're stacking on value, there's just no way that they can afford you. And this is the exact reason why you are still working with people who are paying you $10 for a clip. They can't afford you month after month. They can only afford doing these small packages and then hiking down your price as much as possible. If you want to edit more as an editor, you need to reach out to people who can pay you $2,000 to $5,000 month after month. And that's it. This is the step-by-step guide to landing your first high-paying client as an editor. Number one, get good. Master the basics, understand the flow of content, understand cut downs and the flow. Start using that optimal workflow to increase your speed and quality, and know to spend more time visualizing the intros. Number two, stack your value as an editor. Learn thumbnails, graphic design, and really understand what makes a video go viral. That will unlock many opportunities for you. And lastly, know who to look for when finding clients. Go outbound in the beginning and target wealthy businesses or individuals who can afford you month after month. Now, if you want to learn more on how to become a leverage editor, I'm hosting a free workshop that will go fully in depth in showing you the 3 secret steps to landing a $2,000 to $5,000 a month client. The link is in the description to join. Seats will be limited. It's first come, first serve. It's happening this weekend, so sign up to find out all the details. With that, I'll see you in the next video.